Hey, this is Kimsey Hollifield with Hollifield Financial Group. Today we're going to go over Annuities 101. You know, a lot of people have heard about annuities. There's a lot of misconceptions about annuities. Some people say that annuities are horrible. Some people say that annuities are the best thing ever and everybody should have one. You know, I'm a big fan and a big believer in certain types of annuities, and I don't like other types of annuities, right? So I want to just go Annuities 101. We're not going to really get into the weeds, but I want you to end this video with an understanding about annuities, you know, more than when we started. There are two main types of annuities. The first type of an annuity is called an immediate annuity. Now, I want you to think about this as a pension or in particular, it could be like if you win the lottery, right? If you win the lottery, you can get 100 million bucks or you get $5 million a year. Once you make that decision to take the $5 million a year, to take the income stream, you can't go back. The $100 million is off the table. Now you only have the income stream. That is an immediate annuity. When you give the money to the insurance company, you immediately start getting an income stream on it. That's pretty rare. You know, those were popular, back, decades ago, but nowadays, most of the annuities that we see and that we do for clients are called deferred annuities. And so the deferred period is what you really want to look at, right? And there are three types of deferred annuities. The first is a fixed, the next is a fixed indexed, and the third is a variable annuity. And we'll get into variable annuities a little bit more in another video, but let's start with fixed annuities. Fixed annuities are really similar to what you would expect to get from a bank in a bank CD. You have a time frame, so you're basically putting your money in with an insurance company and you're committing that money to a certain amount of time frame, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You pick the time frame and then the insurance company is going to give you an interest rate. So the interest rate might be 4 or 5%. You know, the other day I did for a client, he came in, he had some bank money that wasn't really doing anything, and he did a 2-year, 5% fixed annuity. This is called a multi-year guarantee. So for multi-years, they're going to guarantee a certain interest rate. Now, the important thing to know about these type of annuities is there are no fees whatsoever. There are no management fees at all. You know, some people say that annuities have a lot of fees, and some type of annuities do have a lot of fees, but this particular kind, this multi-year guarantee annuity, has no fees, okay? And they typically will have some access. If you're looking at a bank CD, you don't have any access. You put your money in for 3 years, you have to wait for 3 years to take any out, or you get penalized some interest. How multi-year guarantee annuities work, you put the money in and you actually normally have some access, maybe 5% or 10% per year access that you can take out. And it's very popular because the way the interest rates are right now, you can still get a 3-year, 5.6% multi-year guarantee annuity. And a lot of people really like that because they're 100% safe, they're guaranteed, they can't go up or down with the stock market, so it's good for safe money, there are no fees, and you still have some access. And if you get that interest rate above what you're getting at the bank, then it's really fantastic. The other thing about annuities is that they're tax deferred. So if you have one of these multi-year guarantee annuities and you're making interest and you're not pulling the money out, you're not going to get a 1099 on that. You're not going to be taxed unless at some point you do take money out of that thing. So multi-year guarantee annuities are very simple. I like to call them CDs on steroids because they have a couple of upgrades to CDs, and normally the interest rates are a lot higher, but otherwise they're really similar. The next type of annuity we're going to talk about is something called a fixed indexed annuity. Now, a fixed indexed annuity has a lot of the same features as the annuity we just talked about. It's safe. It cannot drop if the market drops. So the money you put in is safe and it's guaranteed. Typically, you don't have any annual fees on your account. There again, there are exceptions to to rules, but there are some that have fees. Typically, you'll see a lot of options out there that don't have any fees to put your money with an insurance company in a fixed indexed annuity. And then normally they have that access. Normally they have 10% per year access if you need money out. But once again, you're committing yourself to a time frame. So your time frame on these might be 5 years, or it might be 10 years, might be all over the place. I've seen some that are more than 10 years, but a lot of these are actually 5 to 10 years. So a little bit of a longer time frame, and you still have the same amount of access with no fees. Now, the real thing that we have to look at here is that word indexed. Indexed is how your interest is earning. And what they do, these insurance companies, is they're going to look at the stock market index. For an example, let's take the S&P 500. Now, in the S&P 500, we know that that's the 500 biggest companies in America. That is what most Americans nowadays think of as the stock market. And in a fixed index annuity, what the company is going to do, the insurance company that holds your money, is they're going to watch that index for the entire year. And if the market goes up, then your account will go up. If the market goes down, then your account will stay flat. Once again, any year that the market goes up, your account will go up. But if the market goes down, you're just going to stay flat. So every year that you have money in a fixed indexed annuity, you have a floor of 0. So you can never earn less than 0. Your money can never go backwards because the stock market took a dive. And I don't care if it was 2008 or if it's 2001, 2002 and the internet bubble bursted. I don't care if it was during COVID. It doesn't matter if the market drops of any 10, 20, 50%. It doesn't matter. You can never get less than a 0. But if the market goes up, then you're going to get positive interest credited. Now, the way that they're able to do that is through something called a cap. A cap is basically a ceiling on the amount of interest that you can get in any 1 year. Right? So if your floor is always 0, but let's say, just for easy math, let's say that your cap right now on this account is 10%. Well, that means the most you can get in any 1 year is 10. So if the S&P 500 goes up 5 or 6 or 8%, then you would get 5 or 6 or 8%. If the S&P 500 goes up 12 or 15 or 20%, the most that you can get is 10% because that is your cap, that's your ceiling. The next year, if the market drops 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 15 or 50%, the least you can get is 0. You're not going to give any of those gains back. And so the fixed index annuity is really popular, especially for people who have IRAs and 401ks, because it gives you safety, it gives you that peace of mind, but it allows you to participate in the upside of the market and really get some good gains if the market's going up. The last account we're going to talk about is a variable annuity, and we're not going to go too far into this. A lot of people are against variable annuities. Suze Orman, in her book, The Road to Wealth, if you have that book, actually it's on page 510 in the bottom right-hand corner. Somebody asked a question, and they said, Suze, what if my financial advisor recommends that I buy a variable annuity in my retirement account? And Suze answers, she says, get yourself another financial advisor pronto. Right? So she's really against these things. And then the next question is, what if I already own a variable annuity in my retirement account? She says, I would recommend, unless it is an unbelievably great performer, I would recommend you cash it in as soon as the surrender period expires. So Suze doesn't like variable annuities. I don't particularly like them either. We don't do them in my office. I'm going to go more into that in another video. Right now, for this purpose of this video, just understand there are two types of annuities, immediate and deferred. Immediate, you get an income stream immediately. Deferred, you're putting the money in there and hoping it grows. Of that category, there are three types. There's a fixed or a multi-year guarantee, which has a guaranteed interest rate similar to a CD. There is a fixed indexed, which is guaranteed. You can't lose money, but the interest rate could be a little higher, could be a little lower, right? You get to participate in the ups of the market. And the third we'll cover in another video is the variable annuity. That is the type that does have some risk, does have some stock market risk, and does have some higher fees. So if you have an annuity, or maybe you just have more questions about them, click the link below and let's get a time where we can get together and I can help you.